the back bumper of the 32. And this has been so hard to pass down here, but Emerson gonna clear Mayato. Not gonna go low. He's gonna try and fake the 48. Travato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race win. Oh, hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper. He's gonna have to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Travato nearly locked it up there. St. Bear's big slide out of turn number 1. Comes Chris Samar, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series Season 4. Starting tonight here at Daytona International Speedway, and welcome to V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker. I'm joined by Zach Halpern up here in the booth. Zach, how's it going? Yes, sir. Looking forward to kicking off another season here of the Cup Series from Daytona this evening. Drivers already qualified last week with the duels, and definitely amped up to get going here from the Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing here in Daytona, Florida. As we have drivers gridding up now, let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race. Going to be done a little bit differently than normal, but on the front row for tonight, it will be Garrett Wolfenbarger, by nature of Ryan Gemmel, not able to make the race. He was the pole winner, and Wolfenbarger will be starting off from the front here tonight. Rolling off from second position will be Angelo Ronis, winner of heat race number 1. Jeremy Miller, winner of heat race number 2, or duel rather, number 2 last week. Going to be rolling off third. Reggie Ortega starting in the 4th position. Zach Carr starting in 5th. Eric Lambert rolling off 6th. Nick Gardner starting in 7th. AJ Stravato going to be starting in the 8th position. 9th will be Alex Pelican. 10th, Eric Hutton. Nick Alves starting in 11th. Bradley Wilson going to be rolling off from the pits here, but gridded 12th. 13th, Cody Adkins. 14th, Nick Starling. 15th, Zach Smith. Keith Mayato, 16th tonight. Safe Ferris, 17th. Emi Emanuele, 18th. Jordan Shepler, 19th. Chris Samard rounding out the top 20. The Hot Wheels machine rounding things off for us here tonight, but at the front, Garrett Wolfenbarger set to get things going. Angelo Ronis up on his outside here, exiting turn number 4, about to get things underway. Cheer on your favorite driver and kick them off here for Season 4 in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series from Daytona tonight. Green flag in the air and we're underway. It's the field charging up to speed down into turn number 3. Wolfenbarger with a huge advantage down low. He's pulled the inside line now, single file, 8 cars out in front. Everybody else trying to make some momentum happen up there in the high groove. Here goes the 30 of Jeremy Miller, gonna jump to the outside, try and lead lap number 1. It's a dead heat at the line. Jeremy Miller led the lap. It must have been by inches, but he did take that. He's gonna try and slot back in the line somewhere here. And 100 laps in tonight's race. We're racing the stage lap number 35, so drivers won't be able to make it on fuel to that point. Thank you for the subscription, Parker Collins. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the broadcast tonight. Kicking things off fast here tonight. Didn't really get to talk through some of the new things this evening and some of the paint schemes on track, but we'll get through those 100 laps here tonight. Should have plenty of time to do that. How about this single file, top 5 in that low lane?
Yeah, you saw it from the very beginning, drivers trying to get down to that bottom line, and we saw it last week in the duels. The bottom line is really dominant here, unless if the outside line can pinch down low and get some side drafting going, but it's a little dangerous here at Daytona to do that. You never know when the driver on the bottom might pop up and cause a wreck.
Yeah, side by side right now, Eric Lambert on the outside, the Simulator's Anonymous Machine, alongside Nick Gardner, the dialed-in Racing Camaro. Behind him, a teammate there, the 21. That's going to be Alex Pelican in the dialed-in Racing Camaro as well. You see Eric Hutton up high, driver from the Final Four last season, up here in the top 10 to start things off season number 4. He is trying to make things work and give a big shove to that 3-car through the tri-oval. Out front, though, the top 2 going to be Garrett Wolfenbarger and Reggie Ortega breaking away. They've really linked up here. We saw this in the duels. This kind of tandem draft is actually working for some of these drivers.
And with this draft package, the 30 car should have no problem getting sucked back up to those top 2. But the outside line actually holding pretty strong, able to keep head-to-head with that 16 and 27 car right now, but not really to get much further after that. So we're going to be looking for them to make some progress, and if it does, then maybe the outside line will be a little bit better today than it was last week.
Yeah, not a lot of movement in the high line last week in the duels. Really just a bottom feeder race. Some moves late in the going, but yeah, really not a whole lot of effort put into driving up there, but we see a few of the cars up there right now. See a couple of these Heinz machines. You got Timmy Emanuele. These are some of the Loaded Dice drivers and the Viking City Motorsports drivers. Timmy Emanuele, the Relish Heinz car, the 81 of Cody Adkins in the Mustard machine. Thank you, Brantley Bryant, for the subscription. Thank you for tuning in. There's a couple more in the field here as well. I know there's a Worcestershire sauce car in the field, and I know they wanted me to struggle through saying that, and I still never know if I say it correctly. But
I never know either if it's Worcestershire or Worcestershire. Like, what is the actual correct pronunciation of that?
Yeah, I think the great debate, is it Worcestershire or something else or something like that, you know? But either way,
Yeah,
that car, yeah, Dallas Sullivan in 23rd, Alan Dice 24th right now. You see the catch-up machine, the 57 of Alan Dice right there. Some other interesting cars in the race this evening. The Trash Panda Racing cars, which stand out pretty well. The number 1 of Zach Smith, team up there, 3rd car in the high line. Right behind him, he's got teammate Nick Starling, as they really bobble up there. Eric Lambert trying to get a handle on that race car. Still the top 5 single file, and then side by side about 5 more rows deep. AJ Stravato, one of the championship contenders last season, he's up here in the mix as well, in the 11th position after starting in 8th. AJ won the most races of anyone last season, but came up 1 position short in the championship, but looking to try and get back to the top step at the end of the season. This year he did win the championship 2 seasons ago. You know, he's definitely got his mindset on that here.
And what better way to start it off than getting to win the first race of the season? It will definitely have some momentum going on your side and kind of lock you into the playoffs. I'm pretty sure we're still doing a win and you're in situation in this league, correct?
Yeah, definitely still winning you're in. And only 12 drivers make the playoffs this season rather than the 16 that we've had the last couple of years. So you've got to be really up there in the fight each and every week to make the top 12 and hope for race wins if you're outside that top 12. Because right now the outside lane really fizzling out. The 3 of Eric Lambert, he's dropped a few spots now alongside Zach Smith, who dropped down low in front of Keith Mayato, who was a many-time race winner last season as well. Another driver to keep an eye out here in Season 4, that 36 machine. And then right behind him, Safe Ferris for Team Red Speed. He is in the 17th position, right where he started. Safe, another driver who's in that Final 4. Looking to redeem himself after coming up a bit short at Phoenix. See if he can get things kicked off. He got his first career below the double yellow Cup Series victory last year at Watkins Glen in dramatic fashion. And he's looking for more of those, I'm sure. Could kick it off nicely here tonight at Daytona. As now more cars jumping up high. Who's that up there? That is AJ Stravato going to try and use the high lane.
Yeah, AJ Stravato and Zach Smith jumped up to the high side to make it a 4-on-36 battle.
Those aren't necessarily winning numbers, but if you can get hooked up correctly, you can really get some speed rolling up there in that high groove. It's not easy. You're going farther around the racetrack, but if you can get locked together, a great pushing, it can happen. And if there's anybody I'd trust to lead that line, it would be the 33, but he's got a hungry dog right there behind him in Eric Lambert, who is all over his bumper in the turn. And that can get pretty sketchy right there.
Yeah, pushing in the turns in the middle of the trial hole is definitely the places you do not want to be doing it, especially early on. Later on, as we see AJ Stravato duck back down into the inside and abandon that high line. You really don't want to be pushing in the corners. We've seen so many times where people get wrecked when they're getting pushed there. It's just so easy to turn the car in front of you.
Yeah, we almost saw the 33 go around, but he drops back down in line in the top 10, right in front of Nick Alves, who's kicking things off nicely here this season. 24 machine, who missed a few races last year, but had some kind of up and down performances, a few standout races for sure. So looking to continue improving here this season, and right now just outside the top 10 here early on in the race. Looking a little bit farther back, some newcomers. Clint Leatherwood back here behind Anthony Pelican. Mark Beverly also back here. And a few drivers either off the pace or well behind the lead pack. We've got Andrew Stacy and Bradley Wilson. So Bradley Wilson on screen right here, the 51. Looks like he started from the pit lane, and Andrew Stacy looks like he just lost the draft at some point. He is 19.8 seconds behind in that 23 car. Car's going around at the back here. That is Robert Gilmore, hard in the inside wall. Back up the racetrack in the middle of the racing groove. No yellow. Oh, but huge hit for Happy Gilmore. Robert Happy Gilmore. Not going to be so happy after that one. Let's see what happened here. He just hit the outside wall on his own. And then, oh man, violent crash. And he was able to get it off the racetrack before Andrew Stacy and Bradley Wilson got to him, but he is going to be most likely done for the night after a hit like that one. Glad he was able to bring the car back. Here comes Garrett Wolfenbarger and Reggie Ortega leading this field. A couple newcomers as well. Reggie Ortega, admin of the Virtual Racing League, right here in the wake of the 32. Having a great showing, finished extremely well in dual race number 1 last week, pushing Angelo Ronas to the dual win. And by nature, that started right up here at the front, and he is doing everything he can to stay here, running second in that VRL machine. Behind him, though, Jeremy Miller, who has been dubbed the plate goat, as I've heard. What do you think he's thinking right here, lap 14?
I know Jeremy likes to lead these laps, but with how the fuel situation is, he might just be content with riding in third right now and playing off of what everyone else does. Get linked up with his teammate Zach Carr, a couple spots back, and kind of just negotiate and talk to each other about when they want to come down pit road, as right now I think the end of the race is more important than the stage break.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Only the winner of the stage will get a bonus point, and that's going to be a playoff point. So that is important if you intend to make the playoffs. Otherwise, if you're just going out there for wins and, still shooting for the playoffs, I think that's ultimately the goal for all drivers. But yeah, that one bonus point, not as much of an incentive as maybe last year running to the stage would have been. Fuel percentage down to 65 this year, which is definitely a lot lower than last season. So these guys will have a lot of fuel strategy and tire strategy come into play as tonight's race. I'm going to take a look here. Only 2 additional sets of tires. So not that tires are a huge factor at Daytona, but you might want some nice handling as you come down to the late stages of this race.
Yeah, tires aren't too important here at Daytona, but they can make a difference, especially like you mentioned towards the end of the race. They can. I just heard the 12 car of Michael Newman will be coming down pit road this time, but as I was mentioning before, the new tires, they can really make a difference because at the beginning of the race, they will get old very quickly towards the end. 100 lap old tires aren't very friendly to you no matter what track you're at.
So a lot of takers. Sorry to interrupt you. The 29 of Clint Leatherwood around on pit lane right in the 12's pit box. And a lot of cars came down, but the 29 is still trying to get set up in the box. There goes the 99 of Pelican. Going to roll off here, but big mistakes. Dennis Steele was too far forward in the box for a good 5 to 10 seconds there. And that is going to hurt a lot of these drivers here in stage number 1, but luckily it's just stage 1. They've got the rest of the race to make it up. We'll see if the leaders start bringing it down at any point here or who the next takers are, but lots of mistakes in the first round of pit stops. As, the 29 of Leatherwood, he is very close to that yellow line. Looks like fuel only, maybe 2 tires, but a 7.5 second pit stop, so probably fuel only. Trying to make up as much ground as he can with the mistakes there. There's the 11 machine, I believe. That is Jacob Houston, a newcomer here to the Cup Series. He's been running in the Xfinity Series and graduated up now to Cup and making his first career start here in the Below the WLO Cup Series, as he's going to get swallowed up by the lead pack here. And there's going to be Jeremiah Vincent right behind him. He'll go right to the outside. Jeremiah, that Napa AC Delco machine, nearly won last night at Nashville. Looking to try and get to victory lane potentially tonight. Would be, I believe, his first here in this series as well. His brother behind him, Josiah, has a couple career wins in this league. Didn't get to victory lane last year, though, so Josiah is probably pretty hungry for those race wins.
I'm sure the leader will be coming in this time.
Keep an eye on those guys then, as they've caught some lap traffic here, so that's probably why, as the 51 now brings it back in. And the leader is Wolfenbarger. There's the 21 of Pelican, 16 of Gardner, and others farther back, I think Joshua Abbey. Abbey bringing it down, that Shenandoah Shine machine, as he's going to slide too far forward in the box. Another mistake there, or another driver. As car's already rolling off. But Reggie Ortega takes over the lead. Jeremy Miller behind him, and then Angelo Ronas, Zach Carr. These guys going a few more laps here. We'll see when they bring it down.
I like that pit strategy call with the 51 and 16 and 21. They all came in and came out very quickly, and they're already close together. And it's only three cars, which you only really need three to make good speed here. And I'm not looking too hopeful with how many cars still haven't pit, and they're all going to be looking to pit around the same time. So I think that the 21 and that group will have a good speed coming up here.
Yeah, here come the leaders farther down the straightaway. They may not even get to him though before these leaders elect to pit. But it's getting a little bit scrambled up in the back. Drivers navigating their way around slower drivers coming off of the pit road. You can see right here, Dennis Faircloth to the outside of the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. So they got stacked up too wide here. Keeping an eye on it. I don't see anybody else coming down that lap. They continue to circulate around here, waiting for that first pit stop for most of the drivers. So far, 29 have made those pit stops. Alex Pelican, Nick Gardner, and Garrett Wolfenbarger, like you said, they're the top three. Although Wolfenbarger well off of those cars. I see the 51 of Bradley Wilson came in with them, but he is a lap down, so just trying to give a support role to some of those guys, I think.
I believe Wolfenbarger took 4 tires. He came out much slower than everyone, even though he was the first car in. I think everyone else either took 2 or no tires, so that's the reason why we see him so much further back. And we saw that last week in the duels too. A driver take 4 tires instead of 2 and lose the draft because of it.
Yeah, mixed strategies, lack of communication can really hurt you here. And Wolfenbarger's time a 10.5 on pit lane. To Nick Gardner and Alex Pelican's 7.5 second stops. So that is the difference right there. He's already 4.5, almost 5 seconds back from those two. Yeah, 5.5 seconds actually, and he's not far from getting a lap put on him here as Reggie Ortega goes to the inside. Jeremy Miller following suit. He'll go right on by Wolfenbarger, who was out in front, now in danger of kind of losing the pack here potentially when things cycle out. We'll have to see though. 10 more or so to go. Reggie Ortega, Jeremy Miller, Angelo Ronis out in front.
And I just heard that the 30 car will be coming down pit road, so I assume the rest of the field will follow.
Yeah, we're going to go on board with Jeremy then as he gets down into the pit lane. So we'll see how he gets on the brakes and how that all works out for him. Yeah, Reggie Ortega right there next to him. Wow, as smooth as you can get. That was smooth as butter right there. Jeremy Miller just masterclass of getting on the pit lane right there. He actually got around Reggie Ortega, who was in front of him, because he was just that good on the brakes. Hopefully no speeding penalties among those leaders. But out on the racetrack, Keith Mayato inherits the race lead with his teammates behind him. That is Safe Ferris for Team Red Speed and Chris Samard. James Loveland about 3 seconds back, not in the draft with those guys, but still has some cars around him to pull a little bit of draft from. He's going to hope to catch up here.
It looks like Dallas Sullivan drove down pit road but did not actually stop in his stall, as well as the 2 car got turned around coming into his stall.
Oh, hard onto the pit lane there was Safe Ferris. He probably got a speeding penalty, but we'll have to see what happens as he slides into the box, maybe a bit deep. No, all good in that Red Speed machine. Might be serving a penalty though. As there goes Mayato and Samard, so Safe Ferris is a mistake early on in this one, speeding. And yeah, Dallas Sullivan bringing it back down now. That's going to be very costly for him. I'm a bit shocked at all the mistakes here as Dallas overshoots his box in the Worcestershire machine. Mayato, Samard, close enough together they'll be able to group up, but will they get passed up before then? As here comes Alex Pelican, Jeremy Miller, and Zach Carr. Nick Gardner, Angelo Yeah, Nick Gardner, and then you've got the 51 of Bradley Wilson, the 5-car pack. The V-Speed machines out in front of them, but they are not up to speed yet. About 20 miles an hour slower.
You mentioned all the mistakes on pit road. It really is uncommon to see that many mistakes. We always do see a couple, but there really were a lot this time around. And is it possibly because of how large the field is tonight? And I do think that has a contributing factor to it.
Yeah, and maybe practicing during the duels with the cooler track temps changes the braking point a little bit. But yeah, lots of mistakes with speeding, with going through the boxes. And I didn't really see anybody miss pit road, so that is a good thing there. And nobody did that. That can be very, very bad and cause mistakes or problems for other drivers. But back out in front now, Jeremy Miller with Zach Carr. These two were linked up during the dual race number 2 last week, and they are back out front now here in the Daytona 250. On their way towards stage number 1. Reggie Ortega, who was up in the mix, he's a little bit farther back, about 2.5 seconds. And that is evidence of his 12.1 second pit stop. So this group of race cars took a kind of mixed strategy, and they are 2.5 to 3 seconds behind. Seth Hatchell, last year's champion, sporting a new paint scheme this year. Looking to go back-to-back. He actually won the opener last year, so he's trying to do that as well. Right now running in 13th position. Up from 38th, so one of the biggest movers tonight.
Defending a championship, always such a... It's a touchy-feely kind of moment for these drivers. They are coming into this new season as the defending champion, but it means nothing now other than past. You won it in the past, but now you're here for a new season. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you're a champion, but now you're looking for a new championship, and I'm sure that it does hold some value under their eyes, but they're always looking for the future and what new championship they can get.
And a lot of new competition here this season. Seth definitely up for the challenge. I think he got a few race wins last year and ended up finishing runner-up in the finale race, and that got him the championship. One spot higher than AJ Stravato. And Seth had been up in the mix just based on consistency all year long. Just not as many race wins as AJ. But they were definitely close in points either way you slice it. And right now they're not too far separated on track either, just a few spots between them. Yeah, Seth looking to defend that. Out in front, trying to defend the race lead. Jeremy Miller's got that 27 of Zach Carr all over him. Pushing down into turn number 3. Nick Gardner, Alex Pelican, and others looking on. Nick jumps outside. Not going to make that move just yet. Still too many laps remaining in stage 1. We do want to give a big shout out to Shenandoah Shine, the sponsor of this series, and they are watching here tonight, so I hope you guys are enjoying. I know some race cars are in the field. We've already pointed a couple out, so glad to have you guys on board here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series Shenandoah Shine. You can learn more about them at the description in the video here on YouTube. Checking out down low, I know there's a coupon code for 10% off, or I think it's Bootlegger 10. Let's read through it here. Yeah, Bootlegger 10 for 10% off. ShenandoahShine.co. You can learn more about them there. Great sponsor on iRacing across the sim. So really cool to have them, like I said, here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, along with so many other amazing sponsors that really make this series possible. We are really all broken up right now. There's about 4 or 5 independent packs, 35 cars still on the lead lap, but a few in danger. That's Dallas Sullivan, Clint Leatherwood, and Safe Ferris just up the road from the race leaders. This is a dangerous spot to be in, seeing it's gone green this entire way. You do not want to be a lap down if you don't have to be.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be a lap down coming into the stage break. Yeah, you should be able to get your lap back once the stage ends, as the leaders will more than likely come back down to get gas, but then that just means you have to pit earlier if it goes green. Unless if you're the lucky dog, I don't want to be a lap down, and you definitely don't want to be a lap down this early. It spells trouble. That's all it can really spell for these drivers.
Yeah, it's so hard to get a lap back at these places without a caution. And the way it is going, it's going to be very close for these guys up here. Still a couple seconds, or really just about a second in front. Taking a look here, Safe is 43.6 behind the race leader. Let's take a look from his back bumper. He's still got a good margin. And they are going double wide up there in the lead pack. The second group is caught up. Here they come charging on the outside lane. Coming to the white flag for the stage. Mayato, Samard, Ronis, Ortega, Hutton, and others in this second group. Now trying to get things organized. You can see Stravato jumps out there. Here comes the 98 of Tony Baird up into the mix. Tony, who made the playoffs last season, but was eliminated in the first round, up here in the top 10. Good to see him back. Oh, big wiggle right there. The 37 of Samard nearly turned off the bumper of Angelo Ronis as we have the white flag for the stage. Jeremy Miller out in front. Here comes Nick Gardner to the outside. Nick Gardner up high. He's going to take the lead. Here comes the 21 of Alex Pelican working with him down low. Up high, it's Mayato. And then the 51 of Bradley Wilson, who is a lap down in the lucky dog position. Not able to push hard enough. Mayato, I don't think he'll get there. They've got to be careful not to wreck coming to the start-finish line. But looks like Nick Gardner could win the first stage in Season 4, and he will. Nick Gardner at the line over Alex Pelican and Jeremy Miller. Great job by those guys to keep it green and keep it straight. Nick Gardner, your stage winner.
That outside line was coming very quickly, and Nick and his teammate, the 21 car, did a great job of getting up high and taking advantage of getting that push, and kind of just pushed Jeremy Miller out the way when he went up for a block and kept on the outside and managed to get around him and go down to the bottom to take the stage win. That was a great set of moves to get up to the lead, and maybe we'll see that towards the end of the race as well.
Yeah, Nick, a winner at Talladega last season. His only victory, but definitely had strong performances outside of that one. Gonna get the stage win, a playoff point, as the field works back around to catch the pace car. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break to hear from some of our sponsors for this new season. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call adrenaline therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy. All right, I'm back at the racetrack now. Got the one to go. We'll see if we can get a word in quickly with Nick Gardner, our stage winner. Pull him in the booth here. Find him first. He is Nick Gardner, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, Nick, how about that last lap there on the stage? You were able to leapfrog Zach Carr and Jeremy Miller. You got the stage win to kick things off here in Season 4. How's it feeling?
Pretty good, man. That move was a little sketchy because he did block me a little bit, but I never lifted, and luckily I had my teammate Alex behind me pushing, and we both, worked together, went to the front, and finished 1-2 in the stage. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely the perfect timing there on that move. You restart here in 8th. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Nick Gardner. See if I can move him back up with his buddies here quickly. Always tough getting them back up all the way if they're way up there. There we go. Right. Now out in front, it's going to be Angelo Ronas, Jeremy Miller winning the battle off of pit road. This pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Green flag back in the air. And oh, that's going to be a dangerous move right there. Angelo Ronas changing lanes before the restart. I know that's a new rule they're going to be enforcing pretty strictly here, so he definitely did do that, but we'll have to find out what the officials call. The 27 is Zach Carr. Either way, he drops right down in line behind him. The 30 of Jeremy Miller right there. Now back to third, AJ Stravato, Eric Hutton, the top 5.
And they're already single file as we get going here on the back stretch. That was very quick this time. They're not playing games. They know what they want to do, and let's get single file here tonight.
Yeah, this aero package definitely not doesn't lend itself to this side-by-side racing for all that much. Look at this, everybody but 2 cars. That is Nick Alves, and I'm trying to see who that is behind him. The 11 machine of Jacob Houston. They're the only 2 up there in the high side. And yeah, I think fuel mileage might be the name of the game here in stage number 2 with just 60 laps remaining. They're gonna have to pit twice. So everybody trying to get the best mileage they can to get 20 miles, or 20 laps rather, per tank. And already Bradley Wilson off the pace again. I think he got the lucky dog, but he is back here 8 seconds behind the lead pack. A couple other drivers, Seth Hatchell, Dallas Sullivan, also well behind. And that is not where Seth wants to be, or Dallas. But they're still trying to chase the lead pack. They're not fully out of the draft's, just 2 seconds behind Safe Ferris. Safe could always kind of lend a helping hand, maybe drop back here, help Seth out. But Either way, these guys side by side towards the back. I see Nick Starling up there in the high groove, racing it up with Mark Beverly. This is for 27th spot, but trying to have some fun back here on lap 42.
I just saw not too long ago that Robert Gilmore did officially bring the car back to the garage and called it a day.
Yeah, not a surprise. That car absolutely destroyed. He is the first retirement of the race. Gordon Brackel also looks like he just took it behind the wall. We're taking a look at the raccoon machines here of Nick Starling, Zach Smith, and then Jordan Shepler also has one. He's got the recycling raccoon there in the number 13 car. A little bit of sense of humor. Those guys here, they said they were going to clean up the trash left by the rest of the field, so we'll see if there's any trash laid down. Still a long ways to go.
Well, at least they're being environmentally friendly, going to be sorting out their trash and the recyclables.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing. You see right there, recycle your food. And I agree with that. Got Clint Leatherwood back here, Safe Ferris. Also, I saw Cody Adkins back here. Cody had some really strong runs in both the Cup Series and Xfinity Series. Definitely in the later half of both seasons. See Cody constantly improving week to week, and really good to see him back again for another season. We'll see what he can do with so much left going in this race. Got ground to make up, but no need to rush. Not until it gets to about lap 80. Then you got to really start to be concerned of where you're at.
And I do think that coming closer to the end of this race tonight, we will see the drivers get a little aggressive than they were in the duels last week. There's a lot more at stake here, and you never know. You can be on the outside line and the inside line can wreck, and you can really go from 10th to first very quickly with just a good timing and right place, right time kind of situation. So I do look forward to the end of the race. I think there will be a very good finish here tonight.
Yeah, we saw 5 1000s and 8 1000s separating the winners and second place in both of the duels. Just absolutely incredible finishes, and they were clean. That was what surprised me. Usually when you see those kind of close finishes, it's cars just banging the doors off each other coming to the line, and I don't even think any of those guys made contact in those races. So hopefully we can get another one like that. As yellow flag does fly, we've got spinning. That is going to be the 5 of Joshua Abbey around. And yellow flag. So that'll shake some things up. It'll also help a couple drivers get back caught up. But a bit unexpected yellow flag.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened because we're going to be looking back for that replay here in a little bit. But all I heard on the radio all of a sudden was the 5 of Joshua Abbey go, really? So obviously not happy about the situation.
And the 1 of Zach Smith right there behind him. Played a little bit of bumper tag, and that sent him hard driver's side into the outside wall. And he's able to continue rolling, but that car significantly pancaked. So let's see if we can go on board with him too, just kind of get a feel for what happened here. Big hit right there. And his steering's not too far off, so he'll be able to continue, but definitely going to be hurt in the aero department. And definitely in the pride and feelings department as well. He'll be shuffled all the way back to 35th. And Joshua, who won this race 2 seasons ago, looks like he's not going to have a shot to repeat that here tonight.
Yeah, with that damage, you're pretty much just going to be looking to ride around and hope that other people wreck and you can just gain positions in that way. He's going to be he's going to need someone to push him if he wants to keep up with speed.
Yeah, he'll have plenty of time under these very long pace laps to get some of that repaired. But yeah, it will never be back to 100% with an impact that hard. That's, pushing the better part of 170 miles an hour driver's side into the wall. Not really what you want to see if you want a fast race car. But drivers coming down pit lane. This could split it into a single stop from here. I think it's going to be pretty close. And
there would definitely have to be a little bit of saving going on.
Just keeping an eye. There's a few drivers, I think, staying out. Trying to catch up with who that is. Looks like, no. Winner off pit road gonna be AJ Stravato, fuel only. Chris Simard second. Nick Gardner second. Chris Simard third. Alex Pelican in the fourth spot. So it looks like everybody did pit. Dennis Faircloth behind the wall right now. I'm not sure what that's all about. Some issues with his connection.
I did hear him go on the radio and say, do not pass cars on the inside of pit road. Oh yeah, it looks like he was coming into his pit stall and the 24 car was on his inside and he didn't realize it and hit him and he disconnected as a result from that.
I can get a view of that. He just tow it from there?
Yeah, it looks like he just towed it. He didn't really have that much damage either. I think he would have been fine to keep going, but unfortunate.
He did get hit by the 13 of Gordon Scheffler as Sayfares made evasive maneuvers. 13 drove straight into the rear axle, and that could be cause to end his race for sure. And other cars spun around there. That's Seth Hatchell. Oh, and then he got hit by the 71. Yeah, Hatchell had to find his way into his box there. Seth got spun around. So that was a lot of craziness right there at the tail end of pit road. See what happened with Seth. He got somehow looped around. Oh, Seth just missed his box. That's what happened. He's so far back in pit lane. Just missed his box. Wow. Craziness here on pit lane under our first yellow flag as other cars brought it back down to top off on fuel. Not a bad call. And that leaves how many on the racetrack? It looks like 11, maybe 12. Stayed out here. Everybody else brought it back down. Nick Gardner looks like he gets off pit road first. So those guys topping off, they'll have an extra lap of fuel potentially, or extra half lap or so.
Yeah, not a bad call to come back down pit road and top off. It is going to be very close, like you mentioned, if they do a one stop from this point on. And I think they still will have to save, but that extra lap of fuel can definitely come in handy.
Trying to listen with Chris Simard and Keith Maiato. Keith clutching right now, so he is trying to save some fuel under this pace lap. And we're going green here, and they're at the front, which is not where you want to be to save fuel. So I would not be surprised to see them drop back here pretty quickly and let somebody else lead.
Maybe we'll have a game of chicken of who doesn't want to be the leader and who does want to be the leader here.
Now look at this, only 4 lanes of side-by-side, and then everybody else, since they pit there under the last lap, they're all single file. And oh, they're stacking up. Nick Gardner gets, technical problem. Oh, huge technical problem. That is the 98, 99. What is going on? Anthony Pelican, huge wreck. Now the 3 of Eric Lambert in the wall, spinning around off the wall, across the racetrack. That is disaster. Yellow flag flies.
Yeah, we just see he got disconnected due to his internet connection. So it looks like he got his screen must have went black or something. But
oh
that's
my!
Very unfortunate. That's not something you see often.
The car just went full throttle straight through the field, acting like a bulldozer almost, as they were coming to take the green flag. What a time for a problem. Nobody's up to speed, and then he's like, well, his connection said, I'm gonna go up full speed. You can see this car doesn't even take damage, but he plows Nick Alves, the 11, Jacob Houston. Oh, James Loveland gets shoved out of the way. Then Eric Lambert taking damage there, and that into the 57. Sayfares, I think, survived. Oh, but man, what what a bad break for all of those guys, and this will only help those that stayed out that extra lap. Yeah, Nick Gardner hit there, and then that was the one of Zach Smith getting sent down to the inside, able to keep it off the inside wall. So
took out a lot of big drivers there. That was really just something you don't see, and I do hear the league admin going on the mic trying to explain the situation, but it's hard to calm down your drivers after something like that happens. They know it's not anyone's fault, but it's really disappointing and just upsetting to have something like that happen here at the race when you're possibly contending for a win.
yeah, that is just horrible for some of those guys. Here comes Keith Mayato and Chris Samard. And I don't know if this threw things off with the timing because of when all those cars, you know, crashed when the yellow came out. I don't know if some of the drivers weren't past the pit lane or past the start-finish line. And, you know, that can really throw off iRacing's timing, so they may have to take a couple laps to sort this all out. But I can say I've never seen that here in iRacing. Definitely not that way. I've seen cars lose connection and lose, you know, connection to the wheel and head straight into the outside wall or something, but that's usually at speed and not around other drivers. This was the first for me.
Very unusual indeed. It's crazy how he was able to keep it straight. From what Nick was saying, that he disconnected and had no control over the wheel. So I don't know exactly how the car was able to just continue in a straight line like that, but again, just very unfortunate and something that you don't see too often. I know that there's going to be an apology more than likely coming from that driver. I believe it was Anthony Pelican that had it happen to him, so I know he's not out here trying to cause issues, so they're very unfortunate again.
Yeah, what a disaster for a few drivers there, and Joshua Abbey will inherit the race lead, a driver who was involved in the caution just a few laps ago. He's now out in front with the damaged race car, and Nick Gardner, who was just in that one, he's going to be second. But the top four not pitting under the yellow flag right there, coming back to the one to go this time. And it's been craziness on pit road there, and then just to follow it up, a connection problem unlike one I've ever seen. So just shows how quickly things change, even in the virtual world. Can't predict what's going to happen next here. Joshua Abbey out in front. One to go here this time around. Let's do a quick recap. 9 lead changes, 3 cautions now, as that is going to be the 4 of Josiah Vincent getting waved back around. I think something got messed up there with the scoring for him. He'll get back up onto the lead lap.
It
And
looks like they are going to be delaying the green, by the way. It's going to be 2 laps to green now. They're going to try and get some things sorted out.
yeah, that's what I figured. Something was going to be messed up with all of that chaos happening. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break while they sort everything out, and we will be right back.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying, to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Watch your Element sign reading weekly on Sailor Tarot Magic's YouTube to answer all of your love and career questions. Call to schedule your personal reading at 732-314-0777.
All right, and we are back. Green flag back in the air. Everything's all sorted out. Big shuffle there at the restart. And right now, Alex Pelican on the outside. The damaged number 5 of Joshua Abbey down low, trying to get back up to speed. They head down into turn number 1. Now Mayato leading the outside groove. And the running order is going to look quite a bit different than it did before all of this chaos ensued. But Mayato and quite a few others going to be in pretty good shape to make it on one more stop. There may be some drivers where they could be pushing the issue, as now Mayato takes over the lead spot. Here's Tony Baird pushing him there, and now Jeremy Miller already coming back up towards the point. Driver who finished right up there in the mix at the end of stage 1, trying to get back up the lead right now. We have side-by-side 6 rows deep. There goes Nick Gardner looking to jump to the outside lane. He's kind of stuck in the middle now. Samard lets him in as he tries to work around the 5 of Joshua Abbey, who's dropping quickly already back to 9th position after restarting from the lead. And side-by-side now for the race lead down the back straightaway.
With that damaged 5 car down the inside, you can see it's slowing up that inside line a lot. That outside doesn't have as many damaged cars, and they're getting good runs, and they keep dropping down to the inside slowly but surely.
Yeah, and the 5 on the apron, hanging on to it. That almost caught the 12 out by surprise as well. That was Michael Newman, who almost lost it right behind him, and Safe Fair is right there as well, trying to navigate. He goes to the inside. You see Mark Beverly up high now, stuck with the 51 of 51 machine of Bradley Wilson. I've already said his name multiple times, just had to get it back there. But Bradley, who was a lap down and also at the tail end of the lead lap already in this race, he's up here in 15th, so good recovery here right around lap 60. But Jeremy Miller takes over the lead, and now Mayato shuffled out all by himself in the high groove. And that is just crazy to see how he drops there. Able to get back down to the inside line. So he'll stop the bleeding in 9th spot, but not where he necessarily wanted to be. Still up in the mix. He's got teammates behind him. James Loveland, Chris Simard, Safe Ferris, Team Red Speed, Team V Speed, satellite teams there. And back to kind of the status quo. One of the drivers who's up at the front though, Reggie Ortega, he's back here in 14th. Did lead 5 laps in this race so far. And I'd like to talk with Reggie here at some point if we do get another yellow, see how he's enjoying his time over here these first couple of weeks. Good success in that from that 22 car already, so good to see that from him. Jeremy Miller out in front, right where he likes to be here at these plate tracks.
And after those series of cautions we've had, they're going to be a lot closer on gas than they were before. Before it was going to be a saving situation if they wanted to make it to the end on one stop. Now, they don't really have to save. They can go all out and they should be able to make it to lap 8, roughly lap 80. It still might be a little close now that I'm saying it out loud, but it's definitely a much different situation than it was before.
Yeah, we know they can go at least 20 laps, no issue at all. They've gone, it's showing 8 laps on this stint, many of those caution laps though. So I have a feeling they should be okay. They may have to stretch it 1 lap or so in the second fuel run. But they may be better off than we think. And we're maybe not done with the caution flags yet, but they are starting to get pretty spread out. Taking a look here, the lead pack, 18 cars deep. AJ Stravato at the tail of that one. And another second back. Jeremiah Vincent leading a smaller group of race cars. And that is Cody Adkins, Lane Sulfridge, Dennis Steele, Clint Leatherwood, Nick Starling, Dallas Sullivan, Josiah Vincent, Timmy Emanuele, and others back here.
AJ Stravato needs to try and find a way around this 24 car. He was damaged, and you can see he's holding him up. They're still able to keep up with the draft a little bit, but they do lose a little bit of speed. And you don't want to be behind wrecked cars a lot of the time when it comes to these tracks. They do hold you up, even in the long run. They can just slowly but surely keep losing a tenth here and there. And if that inside line doesn't check up, you lose the draft very quickly.
Yeah, Nick with that rear end damage from the unforeseen incident on the restart, we'll use that word. That is pretty heavy rear end damage. Up here in 17th, still hanging tough, but yeah, he's got right front damage too now that I'm looking at it a little bit closer. And AJ comfortably in the draft, but yeah, any mistake from the 24 from anyone in front of them could really cost them a shot at this win if they lose that draft. Angelo Ronas, who's up towards the front for a lot of this race as well. He's led 10 laps. Back here in 13th with Reggie. These two have been stuck together like glue, and right now that is the case. Behind them, Bradley Wilson already said, he was a lap down, and at the tail end, he's here in 15th, doing a great job with his recovery. Trying to find some other action here. The top 4 pretty well synced up, but you see Nick Gardner, he might be just trying to lay back, save some fuel. And Alex Pelican behind him. Those guys have a couple extra laps on this stint, so they're a little bit shorter than everyone else, so it's probably safe for them to be here in 5th and 6th at the moment. As the lead group continues to pull away, Jeremiah Vincent losing time, and they are side by side back here. racing up. Cars up in the third groove. That is the loaded dice machines, the condiment cars, as we could probably call them, as well as Nick Starling, 25th on back, right here on your screen. And I'm not sure what the strategy call is for these guys, if they're, you know, just waiting for more chaos to ensue or waiting for that pit stop and going to try and make something up there. But when you start getting into the 5-6 second range back, you're maybe just a little bit out of luck.
And it definitely could be a lot worse for these guys in this situation. They could be even further back or a lap down. But 6 seconds, you're not really going to be making much position on green flag. You just gotta hope for a caution, like you mentioned, and hope that the gap closes, or maybe they mess up on their green flag pit stops and you guys get down there and really have a good run and good run in and good run out and get up to speed quick and close a couple of seconds here and a couple of seconds there.
Yeah, they're going to have to be perfect for the rest of the race if there's no yellows. Here, Josiah Vincent just on board with him right now. He's lifting pretty heavily in the tri-oval. As there goes Nick Starling, going to jump to the outside of the 4. And not going to be able to do anything with that. No help from behind. But valiant attempt right there. Looks like Dallas Sullivan going to work down low. He's got some left front damage. Trying to take a look back here at the race leaders. Still no side-by-side. They're pretty well spaced out in this pack as well. Nobody other than the top 4 are pushing real hard nose to tail. See the V-Speed and the Red Speed machines. They've got about a car length and a half between them. There's Dennis Faircloth rolling off the pit lane, 18 laps down. And Dennis decided to just alt F4 before he said something he regretted. So good on Dennis to hold back there. Not a mistake of his own. It's someone else getting into him, but definitely affecting his race and essentially ending any kind of a competitive run here tonight. Meanwhile, lap 68 now up on the board, single file, the top 18, stretching away from the second pack, though they've gotten organized now and maybe starting to stabilize their lap times. That time around 4/10 slower than the last car in the lead pack. So still a lot of work to be done for Jeremiah Vincent and the rest of this field.
Just a very spread out field in the middle of the pack. You have your leaders, like you mentioned, the front 4 very close together, and then 4th through looks like 9th are very close together. But after that, it's pretty spread out. They're kind of just good car space in between each driver.
Yeah, just biding their time. I think the 22 of Reggie Ortega was given a good shove there to the 17, but I think everybody's just maybe a bit concerned on fuel. It might be closer than we expect, especially for Jeremy Miller and Eric Hutton. These guys out in front, could be in danger, but they're starting to catch up to some lap machines up here. That is going to be Jordan Shepler, who is out in front of them. He's got nose damage, though, so he's probably just going to get blown right on by. I don't think they're going to try and keep him in front. Here they come stalking from behind. And the recycling machine is about to be recycled right here as the field approaches. Eric Hutton all over the back of that 30 car. He hasn't made a move yet to the race lead, but we're so used to seeing Eric very good at these plate tracks.
I think he's making the right call, staying tucked in behind the 30 car right now. It's going to save him a little bit of gas. You never know when a caution can come out late and cause a green white checkered and extend the race by a couple of laps, and you might need those couple extra laps of fuel towards the end in order to get the win and not have to pit early. Right now, Jeremy's going to be burning the most out of any driver.
Yeah, let's go on board here, kind of listen to him. He's pushing 195, so I don't think he is holding back at all. I think it is full throttle all the way for the 30 car. And he is right there by the yellow line, so he's cutting the track as short as he possibly can. But you can only save so much when you're out in front. The 16 of Nick Gardner, he's started to lose touch a little bit with the 27. He's a few tenths behind him. He does have that rear end damage from the restart accident. I don't know if that's affecting him and his ability to catch up to the top 4, but yeah, 2 4-car packs leading the way, and then stragglers, Keith Mayato, James Loveland, Chris Samard, and Safe Ferris, the V-Speed machines and Red Speed machines up here in the fight, but not quite working together at the moment.
And we see Nick Alves just now losing the draft with the lead pack. He's going to fall back to that second group who's still losing time. They're about 8 seconds back now, not able to keep up speed. I don't think the front guys have that much damage, if any. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the strategy is here for them. They think that they have to save more than others, but they're losing the draft and they're losing time very quick.
Yeah, this is not going to work out for the second pack unless there's a big accident in the lead group, which we've got some of the best guys up here in this lead pack. Some of the highest I rating, most experienced drivers up here. And though it's not impossible for them to make mistakes, I don't necessarily see it until that white flag. I think they know what the stakes are. And you can't win until you get to that lap. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it could be a costly judgment error for the second pack to lose that much time. Nick Alves already almost faded all the way back. He's got the 13 of Jordan Scheffler behind him, so they've synced up. And that'll support him a little bit until they get there. But it's only going to be this set of corners, I think, before they do catch up to him. Yeah, but some heavy hitters in the back here as well. I mean, last year's champion, Seth Hatchell, he's back here. Seth is also a lap down in 33rd with the damage and the whole pit cycle miscue. He is back here and out of contention. Nick Starling, last car on the lead lap in 31st all the way back here. So Nick not having the race that I'm sure he was hoping for. Did get a win in the Xfinity Series at Daytona to cap off the season last season. And right now, tail end of that lead lap. 25 to go here in just a couple. We're going to go to side-by-side commercial break, and we will be right back.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Back at the racetrack, pit stops already starting here. Under green, we saw some mistakes. The 15 of Mark Beverly around. When did the race leaders bring it down? They're still out here. The top 15 have yet to pit, and none making the decision this time, so at least another time around. I think this, actually there's a few more from that back group, and here they come. So this is going to be Dennis Steele, Colton Leatherwood, Seth Hatchell, and the 99 machine, Anthony Pelican, who's back at the racetrack now, as there is Seth Hatchell into his box. 29 overshoots his a little bit. Dennis Steele nicely into his box. The leader's still out there. This is going to be the top 12, who will likely be...
They did just announce they're coming down this time.
All right, so word is they're coming this time. So here we go. No mistakes. This is your shot to win this race. And once again, Jeremy Miller executing perfectly right there. Nicely on the brakes. No major mistakes from any of these drivers. Other than potentially the 51. He was a little bit slow. Drivers
there were some issues for the 33 car of AJ Shibata. Not only did he pit by himself, but he overshot his pit stall and was too far to the left, so he's going to be out of contention for this win if it goes green.
Yeah, so Stravato, who is at the tail end of that lead group, pitting by himself. Jeremy Miller wins that battle off of pit road. Eric Hutton second, so just as they came in, that is how they will exit. Then side by side behind them, you see that is the 80 machine of Dennis Faircloth, damaged and slow, right there in the mix with these lead cars. This could really shake things up. He is right in front of Chris Samard, James Loveland, and others, and that's going to split this lead group into two, as Reggie Ortega and a few others going to try and work around. That is the Sulfridge machine, the number 70, or I think that's actually the 71. It's Lane Sulfridge right there. He's going to get passed up, but this is going to break that lead group even further down, so we'll have 5 cars, I think. In the top 2, Jeremy Miller, Eric Hutton, nose to tail, pushing hard. Zach Carr kind of by himself. Then Mayato and Wolfenbarger right there, and then another 3 seconds or so to Samard and Loveland. Nick Gardner, Alex Pelican still trying to find a way around Faircloth, who is now going to go to the inside, and they're going to go to the outside of him. And 4 cars up high. The 51 of Bradley Wilson trying to find a way up in there, and the 80 of Faircloth finally going to get out of the way, and that'll, you know, set the reins free on these guys to try and get grouped up and catch the leaders. Might be too far at this point.
Now that top 5 is linked up, they're all put together like Lincoln Logs at this point. Nothing's going to tear them apart unless if they do it themselves. So unless if a caution comes out or they wreck themselves and bring out the caution, it's going to be one of these people in the top 5 who bring it home to the checkered flag and take home the season opener.
Lincoln Logs. That's why I haven't thought about in quite some time, but spent a lot of time playing with those. As yeah, they are definitely connected at the hip up there in the top 5. Meanwhile, towards the back here, this is not what I'd say connected at the hip. They are really shaking and baking back here, side by side, a few rows deep, and this is the back half of the top 20 and the outside the top 30. As, oh, there goes the 57 of Alan Dice around, cars launching into the air, and that's gonna end that green flag run right as we were about to close this thing out, and Alan Dice paying the ultimate price. Catch a machine splattered all over the racetrack.
That was a really hard hit. You see the 71 car just going for a tumble there, Blaine Solvridge as well.
57 just hooked there, and then that shoots the 71 just off the wall. The 29 of Quentin Leatherwood, and oh, look at that, the 24 of Nick Alves. He was so hard on the brakes there. That is a great job by him to make it through. Yeah, let's go on board with the 71 of Lane Sulfridge. Get the barf bags out, because this one's going to hurt. Oh, man. you another view of that one.
Hard to believe that car's still going around the track.
Yeah, I think that's a piece of iRacing physics there for you. But one more view of this. Oh man, just absolutely catapulted into the air, and then, you know, right behind all this, you got the 24 Nick Albus just trying to survive. Go on board with him. One more attempt at this. So he sees him crashing up there, still on the gas, trying to figure out where to go. Car's spinning. He locks it down, and he slows down so much that the banking actually pulls him down the racetrack. But either way, great job by Nick to get through all that. And unfortunate for the 71 involved in that, as well as the 57 and the 29. Leatherwood's going to have heavy damage. His race is over. And do the leaders bring it in? Oh, I see 18 cars stayed out. Jeremy Miller, your race leader. Well, not too much time remaining. Let's see if we can pull Jeremy up into the booth here, and Zach maybe, Zach, maybe you can ask him a couple questions. Find him here.
Hey, Jeremy, this is Zach up in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy with me?
10-4.
So that caution definitely changes what's going to happen with that top 5 group. You guys were attached at the hip. We were talking about it, and it was going to be one of you probably bringing it home to the end. And what's your strategy going to be from here on out?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to stick with the teammates. Kind of what you have to do with the way the play package is nowadays. We slashed the field through the pit cycle there. It's definitely a shame the yellow came out because we had control of the race. But I got faith in our guys. I think we still got this.
Well, you've been up front all night, and you've been very fast, and you were fast last week in the duels, winning one of the duels. So we're going to be looking forward to the end of this race and possibly seeing you up front.
Yeah, thanks. Just gonna try to do what I can here.
But best of luck to you, Jeremy. We wish you all well, and hopefully we'll be interviewing you towards the end of the race.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, Jeremy Miller there. Let's see if we can pull him back up with his boys. Where was he? Do you know where he was? Who is he?
He's going
Zach,
to be
right?
in VMS.
Yeah, VMS. Okay, there we go. So many guys in here now that I'm still not sure where to move them when I pull them down here.
Takes
but
forever to scroll.
Yeah, I only got unlimited screen real estate. So, but yeah, he's got plans of trying to make it to the end here. I wonder if they're close on fuel. I know I heard him lifting and clutching there a little bit. But
I think after that caution, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they should be. It'll be 19 or 20 laps to the end and a few caution laps here. But he likes to take the outside lane, so that's an interesting call.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. I know the last couple of restarts, the outside line has gotten the advantage and been able to duck down low, but that's been with an inside line with damaged vehicles, and now those damaged vehicles are in the back and the clean cars are up front again. So maybe he trusts Keith Mayo to push him a little bit more. I'm not too sure, but Zach Carr's been his guy all night long. So
yeah, so interesting call right there. Zach would have been behind him as the field working towards that start finish line. Green flag back in the air. And going to be less than 20 laps to go to settle it. And out in front it is Jeremy Miller, and now Keith Mayato leading the outside lane with his teammate Chris Samard behind him. Streaking down into turn number 1, inside lane with the advantage. Top 3 have pulled out in front. Now side by side for the 4th spot. And 17 of Angelo Ronis going to jump down in front of his draft buddy, at 22 of Reggie Ortega. That is going to check up the outside lane even more, but you see Chris Samard pushing really, really hard down the backstretch. 51 of Bradley Wilson, who's managed to get back up here, still up in the top 15. And we've got 6 or 7 cars in the high groove. Almost another one right there. There goes Bradley Wilson, going to drop down right in front of Jeremiah Vincent. And the 9 maybe not too happy about that. Gives him a bit of a push through the tri-oval. That breaks up the outside even more, and they continue to drop position after position.
That 51 car, we've been talking about him all night. He started off way far back and went a lap down, got the lucky dog. He's now battling for top 10 position, and if things go right, he can definitely get it.
Yeah, he's played his cards perfectly to survive everything and stay up here in the race. But how about this side-by-side now? Mayato and Tony Baird right in front of Chris Samard, and they are really swerving and trying to get some speed built up in that high groove. Just not working right now.
Yeah, Keith and the 37 car are pushing for their lives right now. They know the further back they get, the harder it's going to be to get back up front. They just can't get back down on the inside. And at what point does the 36 have a hole and abandon his teammate just to get on the inside line?
Yeah, they're losing spots quickly here. Nick Gardner and now Alex Pelican going to move on past Mayato and Samard, dropping like rocks here. There goes Michael Newman, Nick Alves. Dennis Steele's the next in line. And it looked like at one point the 81 of Cody Atkins, he almost tried to take it 3 wide, and that really slowed them down even a bit more. As those guys all the way from the front of the pack to the back now. Jeremy Miller out in front in control. Coming to 10 laps to go here shortly. A little shuffling going on back here behind Dennis Steele. There goes Mayato and Samard, going to try and do it themselves. Nick Starling right here with them. Nick, probably about the highest running position he's been in since the start of the race. Here in 18th, the Trash Man Machine.
These cars in the back are going to want a shot at the win. They're going to have to start developing an outside line very quickly and get it going. It's going to take them about 5 laps to get up front, at the very least, if they can get something going. And I really think it will take them all 10 laps to get up there. It's just very difficult to beat this inside line, and if they don't get something going very soon, there won't be an outside line in the back unless they do it further up front.
Yeah, one driver also to take note of, Seth Hatchell. He did get the lucky dog not too long ago, but he is back up here in 25th. Heavy damage on the left front of that car after the pit road mistake. Cars in the wall possibly up there. The 4, oh, those are from the previous accident. The 4 and the 71, heavy damage there. So Josiah now 3 laps down, 34th. Not the way he wanted his season to start. The one driver who's led nearly half the race, this is exactly how he wanted it to start. That is Jeremy Miller out in front. And as far as this back here, that is Dennis Steele. Dennis Steele in 17th. He is kind of the tail of this lead group. Then Mayato, the next car back, he is 1.2 seconds behind, and these guys still just not linked up at all. Mayato, Samard, little bump right there. That sent Mayato almost around, and then Nick Starling, Zach Smith, Safe Ferris all pushing here through the tri-oval, trying to make up ground, but they continue to lose 10th after 10th. And less than 10 laps to go. That's not where you want to be moving.
Yeah, when they were making that pass on the 2 car, there was a little bit of lap traffic in the way, and kind of just slowed everyone up. And with how this package works, when you try to pass, you lose the draft, unfortunately, and that's what happened to them.
And Mayato's got clean racetrack in front of him all the way up there to Dennis Steele. He just can't quite get a sniff of that draft. I think any, reasonable checkup, though, by the lead pack, these guys could be right back in it. But it's about 2 seconds right now, and then there's 5 or 6 more cars farther back, led by that is Timmy Emanuele in the Relish Ford Mustang, Heinz Relish Ford Mustang. The laps are clicking off, and nobody's making moves just yet. Got some guys kind of hinting at it, though. I see Angelo Ronas and Reggie Ortega both peaking high. Here goes the 17 again. He's going to look. Can't forget this 17. He did win dual race number 1 and the 22 at the helm the entire time.
I do think that if the 17 and 22 can time a run properly, and if they can get help from possibly the 33 car of Aegis Travado, if they can get those 3 cars going, they should be able to get a run up towards the front if they side draft hard enough.
Could get an opportunity here potentially. There's a slow car they might be able to pull a little draft from if they wanted to make the move, but probably well too early. As yeah, they're gonna just put the lap on the 71 straight away. That's Lane Sulfridge 2 laps down now. I think, yeah, just 2 laps down now, and 31st position. And that second pack just not able to keep up. Still 1.6 behind Nick Alves. I give it to Nick too. He survived that wreck, and he's still up here in contention. He's not in necessarily the greatest position to win, but he's at least, you know, within 2 seconds. And they're starting to break up a little bit more back here, though. I see separation behind Jeremiah Vincent. That is Tony Baird, who, I don't know, he had a little hiccup right there, but now catching back up. Don't forget the 16, winner of stage number 1, and his drafting partner, the 21 of Alex Pelican. Those guys back here, 13th and 14th, they could make a run.
All going to be who makes the move first and who sticks with it. You don't want to make a move by yourself and lose a spot and get stuck on the outside and fall to the back. It's a game of chicken, honestly, at this point. Who's going to go with you and, hey, I'll go high. There's a 51 car goes high, but you see the 9 car abandon him right away.
Yeah, so that
now
might
he's
have
going to fall to the back.
That might have just been Jeremiah trying to get an extra spot, kind of faking the help there. As the 17 of Angelo Ronas looks high again, but he's just kind of scoping it out, I think. Mark Beverly up here along the outside wall. Mark was in the Xfinity Series, some great runs for him. He's gonna go 2 laps down now in his Cup debut. 5 laps remaining here at Daytona. 95 down. When are they gonna start making their moves up here? The 57 of Alan Dice. Unfortunate for him how this race has turned out. I wasn't really in position to win, but you don't want to get wrecked back there in the outside the top 25, and that's exactly what happened to him. 4 laps to go.
You know, if the people in the back, like 12th range, do not get an outside line going, they're going to finish where they are right now. They really need to get something going, or else they're going to not have a shot at winning. They might get a top 10. If they're content with that, so be it, but I would want to win if I'm out there. So I'm really looking for, coming to this start-finish line, into 3 and 4 possibly, someone to start making a move to the outside.
Yeah, and this is a race that if you feel maybe you're not the most competitive in terms of just pure speed or experience here in iRacing, this is a race that you might have circled on the calendar. You know, it's still one of the biggest races, and it's the first one, but there goes Nick Gardner. He's got that on his mind. I think he knows he can win this thing, and he's not going to hold back as he gets a push from the 21 and also the 51 as they start to get the outside lane organized. They'll move on past the 71 machine again, and there's Josiah Vincent down low. But up front, they're pushing hard. 3 laps to go. You know, Eric Hutton, he wants to get a race win and lock himself in the playoffs again already. But Zach Carr, Jeremy Miller, their debuts here in the league. How great would it be to just open up with a race win straight away? As there's the 17 of Ronas, the 22 of Reggie Ortega, the 33 of AJ Stravato going to abandon them. They all drop back down in line, and oh, the 33 cut him a break. 2 laps to go. AJ let him back down in line. That stacks him up a little bit. I will say, though, Nick Gardner and others trying to make that move, they drop now 2 seconds behind the race leaders and maybe not a shot to win it. So the move was made too quickly, and we're coming back to the white flag this time. Turn 4, that is 8 cars in line, and there goes Angelo Ronis. Reggie Ortega going to try and go with him. They'll get to the outside of James Loveland. Here comes AJ Stravato as well. Not quite close enough. AJ trying to drop back down in line. The 46 was there. They almost crashed. And here we go, getting synced back up a little bit. Big push from the 22 to the 17. Down the backstretch, still not close enough. Jeremy Miller out in front. Eric Hutton, Zach Carr, Garrett Wolfenbarger. Now they're getting sucked back up behind the 32. But the top 3 who've been up here all race long, probably going to be one of them. Does Hutton make the move? Or is he content to push Jeremy to the race win? 88 looking, not going to make the move. He's going to push Jeremy Miller. Jeremy Miller wins the opening race at Daytona and locks himself into the playoffs. Dominating performance to boot. And what a drive by that 30 car. Not a dramatic finish, I would say, but a dominating performance.
Yeah, great race by Jeremy Miller just to put himself up front and lead the laps. And I guess Eric and Zach and Garrett just didn't have anything for him. They felt like if they make a move, they're going to cost themselves more spots than what they did. So playing it safe, I suppose, and taking home a 4th place finish to start off the season.
Yeah, you set yourself up decently well to get things going. If you finish in the top 5, you know, you're up there in the top 5 in points. So it's not a bad place to be. James Loveland earning a top 5 as well. Dallas Sullivan, great performance in 6th. As here's Jeremy Miller about to burn it down at Daytona. Not quite the exciting finish I think we were expecting. I don't know why they didn't elect to make that move. We'll have to talk to them in the post-race interviews, but either way, Jeremy Miller, he starts 3rd, leads 53 out of the 100 laps, takes home the victory here in race number 1. Also winning the duel last week. That 30 car off to a great start here, season 4.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between 1st and 2nd going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call adrenaline therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy. All right, and we are back here with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series race winner from Daytona, Jeremy Miller. Going to be pulling him up into the booth here in just a moment. Jeremy Miller, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
Well, Jeremy, nothing else to say but domination here tonight at Daytona. 53 laps led, and that 30 car looking good here. You are a race winner in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series and locked into the playoffs. How's it feel?
Really good, especially considering we're going to be missing Texas next week, but we should be here for any other week of the season. So, definitely good to be locked in. I don't have to worry about not making the playoffs because I missed a race, and just always great to win, especially here at Daytona.
Yeah, definitely great to win here. Not the easiest thing to do, but it looked like Eric and Zach cut you a break there. I don't understand. Were you expecting them to make the move, or were you guys talking?
They were trying to beat me, but I just dragged my brakes the entire last lap, so he couldn't get out of my air bubble, and I kept him right in that bubble so he couldn't get a run, and just nothing he could do from there.
Yeah, we weren't sure why. I'm like, you got to make that move at some point, but yeah, you played it perfectly then, and I know you got the nickname Plate Goat, so that obviously showcased here tonight. Perfect execution coming to pit lane each and every time, and domination. 53 laps led. You said you're missing Texas, so we'll see you in a couple weeks, I guess, for the next one after that. But anybody you want to give a shout out to for the race win here tonight at Daytona?
All my teammates at VMS, LDR, we all work really well together. Most of all, Zach and Eric, we worked together for the entire back half of that race, and the three of us slashed the field through the pit cycle, and we were going to finish 1, 2, 3 if that went green, so it's definitely appropriate that we finished 1, 2, 3 without it. And I was confident that was going to happen. I said that earlier, but just really great guys to work with. Those two are two of the best guys on the sim, just really, really good friends. And I want to thank my family who's watching out there and my girlfriend who's watching out there as well.
Awesome, Jeremy. Well, congrats on capturing the victory here tonight in that dominating performance. You win the duel last week, you win the race, the whole thing this week. So congrats, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jeremy Miller, race winner. Let's go to second place finisher now. Eric Hutton and Zach, I believe you're with him.
Hey Eric, this is Zach up in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy with me?
Yeah, I got you.
Second place finish, a really good start to the season. I'm sure you wanted that win, but it looks like you were just held up behind the 30 car. He mentioned he was dragging the brakes to try and keep you behind him. Was there some slack given there? Were you guys talking, or did you really want to try and make a move and just couldn't?
Yeah, we were probably almost 10 miles an hour slower or I was almost 10 miles an hour slower that last lap. Probably, I was just trying to get just a little runs, all I needed. With 3 to go, I tested it out of 4, and I could kind of back up 3 and 4 and then get a run on them out of 4, and hopefully could side draft them to the line. But that final lap, he told me after race he was just dragging his brakes, so that he was on my bumper, and yeah, I could have peeked out, but I don't know if Zach Carr would go with me or not, and if he would block, and that just, to me, it wasn't worth the risks. So just settled for second and getting the team 1, 2, 3.
Well, second place finish is still not bad to start off a season, and it'll put you in a good points advantage as well. What are you looking forward to next week at Texas?
Yeah, not much. Probably a good qualifying session is what it's going to take. Be fast at Texas, and hopefully the conditions are right to make it a little bit more drivable than it usually is. But probably going to be all about track position and setting up runs when you can get them, and a whole bunch of blocking, if I had to guess.
Well, with the pace you're going, starting off second, maybe you can get a first place finish next week, and we will definitely be looking forward to watching that. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to all my teammates. We were really just executed really well. I think we lost a couple of guys, but with as many as we had, it was kind of bound to happen. But big shout out to Jeremy and Zach getting 1, 2, 3 for the team, and everybody else on there, and all the sponsors for this league. Is really looking forward to another season.
Well, Eric, great night, and we look forward to talking to you again.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
All right, second place finisher Eric Hutton. Let's go to third place now, and that's going to be Mr. Zach Carr. Zach, add him up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I have a copy.
Well, Zach, third place after starting up there in the top 5. You ran up towards the front all race long. Kind of played the support role for the number 30 for most of this race. Were you planning on trying to make a move, or were you going to push him the whole way?
I mean, the name of the game now out here is teamwork, and working with Jeremy and Eric and AJ and all of them. That's what we have to do in order to beat the other guys out here. Because if you don't have teammates out here, you're a loner, and once you're a loner, you're gonna get passed. So, you have to play that support role sometimes and help each other out. But of course, I wasn't gonna lay back or anything. Towards the end there, I was third in line, and the only chance I really didn't have a chance at winning unless there was an option to take it 3 wide and Eric and him. But Eric really didn't get a chance to make a run, so we just kind of had to sit in line and let it happen. But no, Jeremy did a great job out there, and if I could have made a move, I definitely would have.
Yeah, you guys definitely worked really well together in the duels, and then once again, that was evident here tonight. Obviously, a lot of experience racing with him, and a great start to your season, both of you with the first and a third. We go to Texas next week, obviously entirely different than here, but how do you feel about going out there?
I should have a good race, I think. I kind of struggle with the 550 package a little bit, but it's what it is. But I think we'll have a good run.
Yeah, I don't know if struggle is the word I would use after watching you at Nashville a few weeks ago, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see if you can capture a victory there. Obviously newcomer to the league, and already making a big impact here in race number 1. But third place here at Daytona, not a bad result at all. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just my teammates, Jeremy, Eric, AJ, Reggie, Josiah, and Jeremiah. They all did a great job out there.
Awesome, Zach. Well, fun to watch you out here, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
All right, Zach Carr finishing in third position. And let's go to the rest of the results and head on out for the night. Taking a look at our recap: 4 cautions, one of those the stage, 3 other cautions kind of coming in rapid succession there in the second stage. 12 lead changes, so it was competitive at the front. Guys swapping the lead back and forth a few times. And Jeremy Miller coming out on top, the plate goat, as he's so well known, ends up on top, 53 laps led. Behind him, Eric Hutton, Zach Carr, Garrett Wolfenbarger, and James Loveland, the top 5. 6th place was Dallas Sullivan. 7th, Jeremiah Vincent. 8th, Angelo Ronis. 9th, Michael Newman. And rounding out the top 10, Reggie Ortega. In 11th position, it was AJ Stravato. 12th was Bradley Wilson. 13th, Nick Gardner. 14th, Alex Pelican. 15th, Tony Baird. 16th, Dennis Steele. 17th, Keith Mayato. 18th, Chris Samard. 19th, Nick Starling. Rounding out the top 20 here tonight was Timmy Emanuele.
Finishing in 21st, Cody Atkins. 22nd, Seth Hatchell. 23rd, Joshua Abbey. 24th, Safe Ferris. 25th, Jacob Houston. 26th, Nick Alvis. 27th, Zach Smith. 28th, Andrew Sacey. 29th, Jordan Sepler. 30th, Mark Beverly. 31st, Anthony Pelican. 32nd, Lane Solfridge. 33rd, Alan Dice. 34th, Josiah Vincent. 35th, Lyle Solfridge. 36th, Clint Leatherwood. 37th, Dennis Faircloth. 38th, Eric Lambert. 39th, Jordan Brockell. And rounding off our 40 car field, Robert Gilmore.
Yeah, big field here tonight and big action at moments here in tonight's race, but nobody could track down Jeremy Miller, who dominated. And yeah, I don't know if there's any other word for it. What are your final thoughts here before we close out tonight, Zach?
Jeremy did a great job managing the race, doing what he had to do, and when it came to pit stops and communication, they just all did everything they had to do, and Jeremy managed to hold off his teammates for the end. I'm just looking forward to next week being at Texas, maybe see a little bit of different style of racing and a great start to the season.
Yeah, looking forward to a bit more of that side-by-side action. A lot of single file here tonight. That's kind of the name of the game. And the 30 car played his cards right, and he earned his title here tonight at Daytona. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in here at V-Speed for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Virtual Racing League to kick off their playoffs. So one season starts, another one is getting close to wrapping up here. But we'll be at Charlotte tomorrow night in the Virtual Racing League, so you won't want to miss that. I want to thank all the sponsors here tonight: Shenandoah Shine, Martin Sports, so many others that sponsor this great league. And you can check us out at all these different social media outlets to follow along with what we're doing throughout the race or throughout the week, see what races we have going on. And if you enjoyed, please consider following or subscribing, whatever platform you might be watching on. And I want to thank you so much for coming out. Have a great night.